Hi, what's going on, Giants fans? Welcome to the Week 5 New York Giants film review, where we go chronologically through the game. Got about 20 plays that we're going to go through today. We're going to focus a lot on the defense, and specifically the run defense, and why I think the Giants have been ran on a ton the past 2 weeks. And then offensively, we're going to go through some good, some bad, mostly good. Obviously they were dealt with injuries, but this is going to be more of a focus on the defense with a little young Joka mixed in, and a couple of interceptions. A couple things I didn't like that we got to talk about. Run game, and we'll go through it. I think the biggest issue is this: there's 6 blockers, and there's 6 defenders. They are leaving gaps open. And without Blake Martinez, when teams pull, these guys are not reacting the way Blake Martinez would, not diagnosing the way Blake Martinez would. Plus, and again, it's a few issues, not just one thing. And they're not really setting good edges on the outside. Anyways, let's go through it, though. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we're going to actually start off with a good play in the run game. First play. This is the way you win versus a light box. With a light box. So let's go through gaps right now. At post snap, you got Azeez Ojulari on this outside. Lorenzo here. Leonard here. Ragland here. Johnson here, Tay Crowder here. This is the open gap. But Azeez jumps inside, which is risky because the running back could bounce it if the right tackle was able to seal him off. But good job by Azeez. Forces Zeke to cut back. And Leo from the backside makes a play. He follows the guard. Gets hands on inside of Tyron Smith. Sheds. Tackle. Nice run play. Nice run play made by Azeez. A risky play. But again, someone's going to have to play more than one gap in this. Next rep is the Lorenzo Carter interception. And there's going to be a lot of bad defensively, but it starts off good. I'm not even 100% sure what this is. And every other rep, I'm going to be like, all right, this is what the defense is doing. This is what the offense is doing. I'm not fully sure if Lorenzo Carter is planned to drop back and play the running back. Since Logan Ryan's blitzing. I don't know if James Bradbury is supposed to play these flats and he's following Cooper. I don't know. Maybe this is something that Patrick Graham saw on film with the Cowboys on 4th down or 3rd down. What they like to do, hit the running back in the flat. Where you take the defender that you think would be accountable with these two and you don't put them immediately on him. Have the slant flat. But regardless, hell of a play by Lorenzo Carter. Tips it up. Interception. Quincy Roche almost had an interception in this game too. So offensively, this is just, we've gotten so used to Daniel Jones completing 50% of his deep passes that when he misses, it's wild. But you got outside release fades on the outside. Outside release. Then you got Kenny Golladay from the slot in the dig. And Jones is just reading the safety. So this is a good read by Jones, just not a good throw. I can see his head. We'll see it from the other end. Snap it. And obviously overthrows John Ross. We'll see his head from the other end. Again, looking left. Keep that safety off. Turn your head, turn your hips, rip it. Hopefully we're not overthrowing John Ross too much. So that's what happens on that play. Next play. Run game. Again. So how many blockers do they have, guys? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 7 blockers. How many defenders do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 defenders in the box. So there is a gap that is open. So you got Reggie Ragland playing this gap. Azeez Ojulari playing this gap. Danny Shelton playing this gap. Tay Crowder playing this gap. Dexter Lawrence playing this gap. Leonard Williams playing this gap. And then you got Lorenzo Carter. He's responsible for 2 gaps here. Well, he shoots inside. And I know you have the corner help out there. But they pull. Good read by Tay Crowder. But they're playing 2 guys. They're down blocking all across. And because Lorenzo Carter plays inside on this gap, the play's done. Get an 8-yard run for Zeke. Again, Leonard gets sealed off. If Lorenzo plays this upfield, he's messing up this puller. And now Crowder's able to come and play outside of this, and then you have Leonard Williams on the backside, and you probably get a tackle for a loss or stop at the line of scrimmage. Instead, you're getting 8 yards because Lorenzo Carter plays inside instead of outside. And that's why I don't like the light boxes. It's because you're forcing guys to make the decisions. When you play that +1, you play your gap. You play your gap and you read your keys when they pull. And you say, well, the too high, you want to stop big plays. They're not stopping big plays. They're giving up more big plays than they did last year when they did +1 boxes, almost every single rep, every single game. Some games they didn't, like the Seahawks, but nonetheless, like you can stop big plays while also defending the run. Next rep. Again, another run play. Total mess on this one. Where are we going to start? So Logan Ryan. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blockers, 6 guys in the box. But Logan Ryan comes down and plays the alley with this wide receiver, with Cooper. The issue, he gets sealed off by Cooper. So now he's useless on this play. You got Azeez Ojulari who's playing inside because he's expecting Logan Ryan on the outside. He's not able to make the play. Now watch. So it's a counter. So their eyes are on the running back, and they should be on the guards. You're taught to read your guards as an inside linebacker. They are going to tell you where the play goes. I mean, look at how far they've pulled until Ragland and Crowder go. They're reading the running back, not the guards. That's high school stuff. Read your guards. As soon as you see your guards like that go, you should be going with them. And we saw them do it on an earlier rep. Because they're late on that. If they're not late on that, well, you got Bradbury playing outside. Ragland's probably able to scrape over the top right here, and you force either the running back to go outside and gets tackled by Bradbury, or he cuts up inside and he gets tackled by Azeez Ojulari or Tay Crowder. And that's why I want the Giants to get back to playing gap football. Sound gap football. Big play for the Cowboys. And again, they ran for over 200 yards on the Giants. 201 yards they ran on the Giants. The Saints did 170 last week. Next rep. Really good man coverage. This is third down. Patrick Graham has been, playing man on third down. He's won it and he's lost it. They end up going for on fourth down and getting it. But you got the 2 high safety. You got everyone up playing tight. And you're sending 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. They keep the running back in the block. And this is good man coverage all across the board. You got your 2 safeties high. He gets beat. Okay, we got our safety here. We got a double here. We got Adoree Jackson covering his player. And we got James Bradbury realizing, hey, I got to stop him short of the sticks. Covering a guy on a drag route is really hard to do. And he ends up making the catch, but he's short. But again, the Cowboys go for it on fourth down and get it. But this is pretty good man coverage. And the issue is you don't get any. You rush 5, and you don't get any pass rush. O'Shane and Lorenzo getting worked around the pocket. Dex does a good job. But there's the edge, there's no edge presence. So Dak's able to just step up out of it. You got Leonard being doubled. Spins out of it, but at that point it's too late. Again, you get a third down stop, which is good, but they end up going for it on fourth down. And then on this drive, we're playing man coverage again, and you live by man, you die by man. Giants do a good job of disguising this as zone. They put number 1 in motion, and Logan Ryan doesn't follow him. But in reality, you got him manning up here, and then him manning up here. But this is supposed to be disguised as zone pre-snap. And Dak controls Julian Love with his eyes. And, they showed this on the broadcast, Julian Love shading to this side. But, Julian Love's got to read, what the receivers and what the QB's doing too. So this is more just Bradbury gets beat by CeeDee Lamb, who's a really good wide receiver. But, James Bradbury's supposed to be a really good corner, And he hasn't been that top-tier guy this season. Again, Dak, you got all these receivers. You got Dak's eyes over here. You got him, this player's open. Short, but open. I can't be too mad at Julian Love for not making that play. It's not like, Julian Love's, some amazing athlete who's, supposed to ball hawk guys. Now, maybe they did coach him hey, you got to protect that over the top. You got to protect the fade over the top. And if that case is on him, but, that's when you play man with that center field safety, it's more it's kind of, you're trying to keep center field close. Offensively, Daniel Jones is 0 for 6 at this point. 3rd and 10. And Daniel Jones just rips it. I want to count the air yards. So we're throwing it at from the 14. From the 14-yard line. So that is 36 yards to the 50-yard line. Another 13 yards, 49 yards, 50 yards, 50 air yards. Just bad stunt pickup up front by the offensive line. And Jones connects it with Kadarius Toney. Look up front. Wes Martin totally gets beat off the ball by Randy Gregory, which occupies Devontae Booker, the running back. This player loops around, and Wes Martin's not able to come off of it. Billy Price misses a stunt pickup over here. Get your head, snap your head and pick somebody up, Billy Price. And Jones just rips it. I get it. It's a there's got to be some type of frustration. You're 0 for 6 at this point. And credit to Toney just making a play on this. Probably should have been called pass interference too. But good job, Toney, making a play. A lot of guys throw that ball out of bounds. Live to fight another day. Now, if that gets intercepted, we're all calling Daniel Jones the biggest idiot in the world. But it didn't, so we're going to praise it. Next play. So this is calling plays off of other plays that the Giants have run. So what they're trying to do is when they have this off corner, what they have done is they'll run RPO, but they'll run a speed out. So it's fake handoff, set, turn your hips, throw it out here. That's what they've done that a ton. And you got against Stephon Diggs, who likes to bite and jump routes. So they try and get Stephon Diggs to jump, but he doesn't. He plays it perfectly. So incomplete pass. Here's what bothers me though, is tag something on the backside. Because Jones at this point realizes this probably isn't a high percentage throw. You're throwing the ball right here. You're throwing it because it's the only option you have, but it's not a high percentage throw. Put Toney up the seam. Why not? Just even if it's just to occupy this safety. But this receiver on a slant, but tag something to it to where Jones isn't stuck on this throw. But I do like the idea of trying to get the double move on that. Overall, I kind of liked what I saw out of Garrett, overall philosophy-wise in this game. You can see the throw. There's some plays we're gonna go at where it's in this situation, it's why did you do this? And here's something we talked about. If you watch the week 1 film review when they used Toney for 2 reps, they motioned him and they threw him the ball out here and he gets 8 yards. Cool play, right? Or 6 yards. But we talked about on the film reviews that sets up all types of stuff. It sets up QB draw because guys vacate. It sets up slants. There's so much you can tag to that. It sets up handoffs where you have lighter boxes and linebackers who are reading this Kadarius Toney because he's a yak machine, and that's exactly what it does on this. So you got this player bailing out of the box. You still got these guys lined up over here. And then you put Evan Engram on a slant. Gets used as a pick route, so it's more open than it still would have been open, but it's more open. And you got yourself a nice chunk play. 14, 15 yards, maybe 18 yards. I can't remember the exact yardage on it. And again, you can tag this with so much stuff. QB draw, if you're at, a 2nd and 3, QB draw you can do on this. There's other plays where we talked about where they did this and they handed off to Saquon and he should have got more yards than he got. So there's just so much stuff, or just throw it to Toney. So they should be using that type of motion 5 times a game. Even if you hand it off 4 of the 5 times, you should be using that. You should be using that motion 5 times a game. Again, you see it. Look at all this space in the middle. A lot of space. Oh, look at this. Nice 14-yard run on inside zone by Devontae Booker. I don't think we've had an inside zone run play go just up the gut like that before. So let's break it down. So you got Nate Solder blocking out right here. And then you got these two doubling to here. Matt Perry and Will Hernandez doubling to here. And Evan Engram on a hinge block just making sure he stays upfield. Jones carries out the fake, keeps 27 occupied. So Solder, he's just he does his job. Good stuff. These two double. Price just gives him that hand. Off to the linebacker, seals him off. Good job. Will Hernandez and Matt Parrott. He jumps that gap. Matt Parrott gets his head around, blocks through him. Will Hernandez picks up 42. And you got yourself a nice 14-yard run. I'm telling you, with Nate Solder at right tackle, this has been closed down. This gap would have been closed down because Nate Solder was getting pushed down. And that's a big reason why they should play Matt Parrott, just for the run game. So a good 14-yard run for Devontae Booker. Next rep, what do we got? Oh, this is the Toney 3rd down, 28 yards. There's really not a ton to break down on this. Technically, Jones probably throws this to Galladay here. But Toney's open. You get it to him. And Toney makes guys miss. Whoop! He's fun to watch, man. I wanted him to score here so bad. I feel like, Daniel Jones doesn't get hurt if he scores here. God, this would have been such a fun freaking score. I want Kadarius Toney in the end zone badly. You can see it from this view. He just makes it look effortless. Again, is he really juking anybody on this play? It's just fast and agile. Now here's the Jones concussion play. This play gives me a headache. So you got the naked boot. Doesn't work. Well, why doesn't it work? One, if you just hand it off, he scores. I saw some people saying, though, but hey, Daniel Jones actually just went, he went commando and said like I'm just gonna keep it. I see what I see from the defensive front. I'm gonna keep it. That's not what happened. Look at Devontae Booker, and or saying people saying that he didn't alert anybody. Look at Devontae Booker. Is that a man who was expecting a handoff? This was a design play. And first of all, Kyle Rudolph gets off the ball a little too early. False start. What the hell is Kyle Rudolph doing? I agree, ambulance. This is a tragedy. Call the ambulance for Daniel Jones. Why in the hell would he take a step right? And on top of that, what is this? What is this effort? I just don't understand this. If anything, you block this guy down and hope he gets sucked up down the line of scrimmage or something. I do not understand this at all. Why would... I mean... And Wes Martin does it too. He steps right too. It's like they're basically inviting these guys to tackle Daniel Jones. Why would you not try and get outside of him? And then on top of that, I mean, what is... I'm done. I don't get it, man. I do not get what's going through Kyle Rudolph's head on that. If you lose the block, try and turn it into maybe show to run a route where they cover you, and keep that defender honest. Maybe Jones flips it out to you. I don't get that. I do not understand that. I mean, why are you turning... It doesn't make sense why he did that. And again, this is not Daniel Jones going commando. That is so frustrating. I don't know what that is. I do not know what that is. All right, so we're coming at the end of the half. Cover 4. And Bradbury plays this beautifully. Reads the dig. Plays the top of the stem and breaks on it. Reading Dak's eyes. Breaks on it. Gotta come down with that. I mean, those are game changers. That's the difference between 7 points. That's the difference between going into the half and getting the ball at 10-10 and down 7. You gotta make that catch. Great break on the ball. That's the difference between winning and losing. I'm not saying that's the difference between winning and losing this game, but just overall. And then you got man coverage across the board. You get the safety over the top. And here's where I will give Julian Love a little Dak is staring this down the whole time. Break on this. And then you got Rodarius Williams. I mean, I'm just not expecting him to win versus Amari Cooper. He's going to lose that 10 times out of 10. Even if he turns to be a good cornerback, that's tough. Clean pocket for Dak. I mean, again, watch his head. He stares it down from the, it looks right, and then I'm locked on. I am locked on, waiting for him to make his break. And the Cowboys get a touchdown. All right, next rep. What do we got? Oh, this might have been my favorite play call from Jason Garrett, and this is something we talked about in the preview because the Giants have been running these 2 tight end sets, max protect 2-man routes to get to get time in the pocket to be able to set up and get these throws downfield. But something we've talked about was like teams are going to start adjusting to that. They're going to play man coverage. They'll have one safety go with it. They'll have the linebackers sag back, and you got Diggs undercutting Kadarius Toney on this. Like you got these two covering here, and you have Diggs playing underneath like this. Like Toney's supposed to go across. Supposed to be a Yankee concept where he's a deep post and Toney's coming across. And I'm telling you, this is my favorite play from Jason Garrett because it's adjusting. It's scouting yourself and like, what are they going to do? Just sit on it. Like, okay, you got underneath me. You think you've won this? You think you've won this route, Diggs? Sit on it. And now you're wide ass open. And not only are you open, you get 20 yards of yak. That's my favorite play of the game by Jason Garrett. They've had success with these 2-man routes. Build off of it. Don't just run the same stuff over and over again. Big play for the Giants. Next play is they run this route the way that it originally goes. It's flipped. This receiver's running a post. This receiver's running a crosser. This is the way it usually goes. As you can see, they bracket it both underneath. You got Van Der Esch who comes and plays it underneath, sinks. So you got doubled here. But CJ Board beats Diggs. Burns him. Totally burnt him. And Mike Glennon just underthrows the ball. And Troy Aikman talks about how, Diggs did that on purpose. He's like, I let him get open on purpose. No. Mike Glennon just underthrew the ball. And again, I'm not totally pissed off of Mike Glennon. This is a far throw. What are we looking at here? 30. 56-yard throw. But Mike Glennon does have a big arm. But yeah, this isn't Diggs letting a guy beat him on purpose to make this interception. Good ball skills by Diggs and good recovery, but that wasn't on purpose. He got burnt on that rep. Interception for the New York Giants. Next play, what do we got? Man coverage. 2nd and 10. You get him behind the sticks, you get a sack. So they blitz. They send 5. Good man coverage. Man. You got them over the top, and then you got this Bradbury closing down on CeeDee Lamb. But Dak's trying to push the ball downfield. Good job closing by Bradbury. And you get a sack. We finally get a sack. Got 2 sacks in the day. Good stunt. Shelton occupies here. Austin Johnson loops around. Reggie Ragland's being picked up by the right guard. And Austin Johnson gets his 3rd sack of the year. Leading sack getter on the New York Giants right now is Austin Johnson, tied with Azeez Ojulari. But that's kind of nuts that Austin Johnson's kind of been pretty damn good, honestly. Credit to Austin Johnson. He's not Dalvin, but he's been pretty damn good. Next rep. Ooh, this is a run play that I love. It's called Squirm. And the Giants actually unleashed this versus Dallas last year, week 5. And I hadn't seen it at all this year. So what are they doing? Now, Booker slips on this. It could have been a bigger play. But Skura is leaving 98 unblocked. And Nate Solder is leaving him unblocked. And you're just betting that he's not going to move down the line. So what you're doing is you have Skura come to pick up this linebacker. Solder pick up this linebacker, which they both do. You got Billy Price has the backside right here. Will Hernandez pulls. Seals it off. And you got a hole. You got a hole right here. But Booker just stumbles. You still get a good carry out of it, but it could have been bigger. I love this play call. Keep doing this, especially against teams that are maybe be a little undisciplined on the edge. This might be Mike Glennon's best throw of the day. So we got it down here in the red zone. And we got a post wheel. So Board's running a post. and then you got Evan Engram on the wheel. Flat down the line, up the sideline. But good read. Like, this is, Glennon is under center play action, turns his head, and realizes, like, this isn't going to, like, this guy is trailing. Like, I'm not going to put this out here up in front of Evan Engram. That play is not going to be made. So just put it on his back shoulder. Good catch by Engram. Like, this is the best throw, like, combination of a throw and decision by Mike Glennon of the game. Like, quick processing. Again. Snap the head, realize it, and puts a perfect ball backside. Maybe not a perfect ball, but a good ball. One that Evan Engram could catch. How about that? Evan Engram seems to make the tougher ones. We got Kadarius Toney Wildcat. Almost scores again. So you're leaving the backside end unblocked. You got Devontae Booker holding out a long fake, getting down, which occupies this defensive lineman with Billy Price, occupies Micah Parsons. They're not reading, Micah Parsons isn't reading Nate Solder and Matt Skura. They pull. Caden Smith blocks up here. You would want Matt Peart to get off on Micah Parsons quicker. But good block by Solder and Skura. Like, he's got a hole. He's got, score. Almost scores. Matt Peart, you got to get off this a little quicker. You got to get off this. And I get you're leaving Will vulnerable here, but you got to get off this a little quicker. That's a touchdown. That's a touchdown if he's able to seal off Micah Parsons. I don't know how much more I want of this. Like, once team game plan against it, like, how much do they figure out? The Wildcat, but then I guess you could have Toney throw it because he can throw it pretty decently. But I like that. And then so a couple plays. I'm talking about the plays I like. This play, I think I hated this one more than any play of the entire day. And it's 4th and 1. 4th and 1 on the goal line, or 4th and 2, or whatever it is. And we on purpose cut out this whole portion of the field. This whole portion of the field, they're like, we don't need that. I hate this crap, man. I hate sprint outs on 4th down. I hate sprint outs in general for the most part. But especially, like, there's no decision to be made. It's just, Kadarius Toney, you better run this route perfectly, which that's not his strength. And Mike Glennon, you better throw this ball with perfect timing and perfect accuracy. I hate this play call more than anything. Why cut off? Why give yourself only this portion of the field to work with? I mean, you got a tight end right here. You got a running back, 2 wide receivers. Run slant flat. Put Evan Engram on a drag and put the running back play action cross. Have them run mesh. They look like they're running man coverage. If they're not, have them, Evan Engram sit in a hole. There's so many better options to do than this. Like, I just don't get this. On 4th down, if it's 1st down and you like what you see, you like the leverage, but on 4th down, do or die, it's like, all right, we have to be exactly perfect on this play, on a low percentage play. I hate this so freaking much. And again, do we win if we get that? I don't, probably not. But come on. Why? I mean, it's basically just a one-on-one with very little room. That's frustrating. That's so freaking frustrating to me. All right, this is a Ezekiel Elliott touchdown. Only got 3 more plays, so we've almost made it through this terrible game. So here's what I've been calling for. This is what I do want from the Giants. So let's look how many blockers they got. They got their 5 offensive linemen, 2 tight ends. Now let's count the Giants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we got 8 versus 7, which means we have every gap covered. This is what I want. Now, I want Jabril Peppers in this role when he's back. But look, gap covered, gap covered, gap covered. One of these two are they're playing these gaps. Gap covered, gap covered, gap covered, gap covered, and you got Xavier McKinney on the outside. This is what you want. The guards pull, the center and tackle pull. Immediately the linebackers read it. Maybe a little, a smidge slow, but immediately read it. Ragland plays out, goes to play outside. And McKinney just gets lost on it. You got to trust your guys. Just get upfield on this. Get upfield on this and trust that your linebackers will have this taken care of. And that's where you missed your bro Peppers. Peppers makes this play. Does he necessarily get the tackle? Probably not. But he lets somebody else on the team get that tackle. And instead they're celebrating a touchdown. But this is how you can stop a run, and you can stop big plays like this too. Now, not every time they're gonna have 7 guys in the box, but when they have 5 guys, 6 guys, when they have 6 guys, you could have 7 people in there and still play good coverage. Here was the John Ross almost touchdown. I do like this play design by Jason Garrett. You got trips left, tight spacing. Put Evan Engram in the flat. You got man coverage. And you just put John Ross on a double move. Show inside, bam, outside. All the space in the world. Now, good job by the Cowboys by this player sniffing it out and making it tough. This is a good throw. John Ross just has to come down with it. But I like this play design a lot. Really good throw by Mike Glennon, too. I mean, beautiful throw. John, we just got to get that. We got to control that ball. Control that ball and get both feet down. End up scoring the next play. I'm not going to go over that one. And then we got the last play of the game. I've been waiting for it, for us to run curls and get an interception on the outside. I can't believe it hadn't happened yet, but I think you just need to take Daniel Jones out of the game. I mean, of course they're sitting on this. So I'm not going to go through all of the plays, but once Kadarius Toney got ejected, I did kind of find it kind of funny that Jason Garrett literally just started running stick concepts and curls after that. Like, just totally reverted into his old self once Kadarius Toney. So we need Kadarius Toney just to force Jason Garrett to be different. But overall, a rough game for the New York Giants. And now we get to play the Rams with the entire team hurt. So isn't that exciting? Like and subscribe. The channel is going to be fun. We can guarantee that. So like and subscribe, all that good stuff. See you in the next one. Let's go Big Blue.